What is 2 inches from touching the line saving you? Because you still missed it. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi if you're new here. I am a former student athlete and I played college basketball, and that is something my content has been centered around, is athletics, a little bit of lifestyle, and some future upcoming fun stuff. So subscribe so you are here for that. And for today's topic, it's going to be centered around the mindset that you need to have if you're going to be a student athlete in college. Even although I have a very strong and motivated and competitive mindset in sports and kind of just life in general, I saw a lot of different things from my freshman year with my fellow freshmen, and then as I went through my few years watching incoming freshmen and seeing the differences in people's mindsets, and like some people having that challenge to have that mindset or to adapt to the way the coaches want you to be. And so that is something I want to talk about, because I spoke about how hard the transition was from being a student athlete to then having to like start your next part of life outside of athletics and how hard that mindset is. And so I want to kind of talk about that transition in to college athletics a little more as well, because for some people it can be very difficult and for some people it's flawless. So we'll get into the video. Although the mindset is going to be a little different for everyone, the biggest aspect of that mindset you're going to need to have is just toughness, and toughness in the aspect of like some thick skin. You're going to be yelled at, you are going to be tired, you are going to be sore, you are going to be doing things you've never been asked to do before, and you're going to be asked to learn a lot of new things all at once, and you're just going to have to kind of like suck it up. You're going to have to say okay and figure it out. And having a very tough, like motivated, competitive mindset is something you need to have, because going into college is such a huge transition. Going along with that mindset, you're going into college. Now you're in 5 college courses, a full course load. You're now a student athlete in college, so you have, depending on the season, you're gonna have multiple workouts a day, most likely through all of season, pre-season and post. The transition from high school classes to college classes can be difficult on its own, so you're dealing with that. You're then dealing with being a freshman on the new basketball team and in a new setting. You've never had these types of workouts. You're trying to figure out where your spot is on the team, your friends, and like that whole team chemistry aspect. That's hard on its own. And on top of that, you will then have study hall, and you will have to study outside of that on your own because you are a student athlete. The student part comes first. You'll also try to fit in some fun time because it is college and you are away from home getting to experience that. And so it's hard to juggle everything because it's all thrown at you at once, and that mindset, you have to have a strong self-motivated mindset to get through all of that. You are going to be tested, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. I know that my freshman year, especially my first semester of my freshman year, was the hardest of my entire college career. The first semester specifically, I had a lot of personal issues happen, and I was in Georgia, away from home, away from my boyfriend. Although my parents did move, I didn't get to see them as often because we had such a busy schedule. My day usually went like up at 5 for a morning workout. Morning workout ended, I have to eat, shower, get to class. I had class from about 8 to 12, in that range. I had to eat, and I had to be ready for another workout. And then after that workout, I had to shower and eat, get to study hall for 2 to 3 hours, and then by that time it's about 9 o'clock at night, and I had been up since 5 because I don't take naps. I would get off of study hall at 9 o'clock and I'd go to bed to get up at 5 again. And so it's a lot thrown at you at once, and it's a big transition, and you're expected to make that. So that mindset, you have to be prepared for that because you're going to run a lot if you miss stuff, if you miss class, if you're late to class, late to practice, late to study hall, miss study hall, anything like that, you're more than likely gonna run. And that's enough motivation for me. I don't like to do extra running, and so I'm never late. So that wasn't that hard of a transition for me. But for some, having to like really follow a rigid schedule like that can be tough. Along with that, you know, inside of the workouts itself, like that mindset, you cannot take anything personally. I am almost 100% positive you will be yelled at. You're going to be yelled at. And it's usually never in a personal demeaning manner. It's usually just them yelling to get your attention and yelling what they're feeling, what they saw. A lot, like, all of my coaches did it. My dad was my coach when I was younger. He would yell to get your attention, and then he'd chat with you. My high school coaches, same thing. I had a coach when I was 12 who he got in my face and yelled at me a few times in very large crowded gyms, and I didn't appreciate it then because I was so young. I don't know how much I appreciate it now, even at that age, but it did set me up to be able to be yelled at by anybody, and I didn't care on the outside. And my AAU coach got in my face and screamed at me one time. I was upset about the situation, but I went on and had a great game. And in college, I got screamed at. That's just, my coach was loud, and you can't take it personally. And that was something that I didn't take personally. She'd scream at me and I'd be like, okay, sorry. And then she'd yell at me, I have to say sorry. And then I would say sorry for saying sorry. I didn't take it personally because it's not personal. You will get yelled at, and you have to be tough enough to know that it is just for the situation that you're in that moment. You can't let the emotions overcome you, not be able to handle that, because that can create an issue with the way the coach thinks you take feedback or criticism, or you can't handle it, you're not strong enough. And so my life motto is fake it till you make it, and you need to do that with this mindset. If you're upset, you're faking that you're not upset. You can't ever act like you're upset. You just gotta say okay and cry about it later if that's how you feel, but never take it personally. You have to have a strong mindset to get through that. And on the other side of the physicality side of mentality, I have never been pushed so hard in my life like I was in college. Every year there were different workouts that would push you, and yeah, I have cried through, not like bawled, but like just tears were just streaming out of my face through several workouts. Your body can obviously go a lot further and be pushed a lot farther than you initially think right away because you're afraid, you know, you've never pushed your body that far. And so I'm not someone that's really afraid to push it, but there are times like it just hurts. And I wouldn't stop or like give up or anything, but I would just gladly tear up through that workout. One time my freshman year, our practice was from like 1 to 4, and it was 4:30, and we were shooting free throws, and we had to make a certain percentage as a team, and we didn't, and we kept missing it. And we had been running sprints and shooting free throws and running sprints for like 45 minutes to an hour. My hips are cramping. I'm just like crying while I'm shooting free throws. But I didn't stop. I tried to make my sprints. I think I made my sprints, but you have to get through it. My junior year, we had a strength coach who loved planks and loved abs, and we would do like 2-minute planks with 45-pound plates on our backs, one of them, pull them off, put them on, just planks, long, hard planks. And again, I had like a hip flexor or something cramp up, and we were only maybe halfway through. I cried through that entire plank, but I didn't drop, because you can't be weak-minded, you know? It's okay if you're physically not there, they'll get you there, but internally, you have to be strong. Fake it till you make it if you have to, but you have to be strong. On top of that, it's selfish in a way not to push yourself past your limits a little bit, not to hurt yourself, but past that limit of uncomfortable feelings when you're working out. I will never purposefully be the one that makes us run, makes us redo a workout. Like, I'll cry through that entire plank and not fall just so I don't have to do another one, or anyone else doesn't either, because why would you want to do another one? Why would you want to do more sprints, you know? And so you have to have that mentality of this is a team, but you also have to have that mentality of yourself. You know, you have worked your whole life, like we discussed, for this. Are you really gonna let a little bit of uncomfortableness or a little bit of fear like get in your way of what you've worked for your whole life? You're really just gonna drop in the middle of the plank and make everyone redo it again just because you feel a little bit of pain? Like, you can't. You can't. You have to push through, because although it might feel weird or it might hurt, your body can be pushed a lot further than your mind wants to let you, and that's obviously so that we don't push ourselves to exhaustion, to like a fate where we could potentially die. That's obviously a safety mechanism in our body, but there is a long ways between uncomfortable and like a little bit of fear and actually getting to that point. It's amazing coming out of one of those workouts and you're lying on the locker room floor for like 45 minutes, and then you go take an ice bath, and then you go to sleep at like 5 p.m. It's a great feeling because you have never felt that before and you pushed yourself to do that. Like, I can't tell you how many times at my first school we would have extremely hard workouts, like draining for everyone. We all pushed through. We then had like the team prayer and we're all bawling, like we're all crying just because of how hard we pushed ourselves and how like proud we were. And that's like what you need to have. You have to do that. You have to have a strong mindset for yourself and for the team, because this is your job now. You're a student athlete, you're in college, and you're there to win, and that's what you gotta do. You gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta fake it till you make it. And with that, I kind of mentioned, you know, you have to have that mindset for the team and for yourself, and that's kind of a hard balance at first because you are trying to obviously win as a team and it's a team sport, but you're also trying to get into that rotation, get into the starting lineup or stay in the starting lineup. So you have to have the mentality of me, but also we, but usually having a strong internal mentality of me and like pushing and like competitiveness will translate well into that we mentality. Inside of that we mentality, I kind of touched on it with not dropping in a plank or being the one that doesn't make the sprint. Obviously, there's certain situations when not everyone's going to make their sprints. I struggled with that a little as a freshman just because I had no idea the types of sprints I was getting into. We sprinted in high school, but not the way we did at my first school. We would do 36s, and it is 3 down and backs of the full length court in 36 seconds. And that's like a dead sprint for me. A whole, like the entire thing I have to put full effort into because I am a slow sprinter. My mechanics aren't great and I'm just naturally not fast. And so I would have to put 100% effort into that no matter what. No matter how tired I was, I'd have to put my all into it to just make it. Like by a second. I'd have like a second. And there's other people who are a lot more athletically gifted, are just better sprinters, they're faster people. They could do an 80% sprint through that and beat me, but that wouldn't stop me or them from us both making it. And along those lines with like sprinting, touching the line, it's just the little details inside of that mentality that you have to be aware of. Not touching the line, not finishing the rep, you're only shorting yourself, and in turn you're gonna get caught and everyone's gonna have to do more sprints. And what is 2 inches from touching the line saving you? Because you still missed it, or they still caught you and you still have to do another sprint. You know, it's just those little things that are actually big details in the long run. It'll affect the way your teammates view you. Your coaches may not trust you or have, oh, well, you know, Jackson can't touch the line. You know, that's in their heads. Like, coaches see everything. And you may not think they do, but they see everything. They hear everything. It's just those little details. If the coach wants you talking on defense, you have to talk on defense. And that's tough sometimes to get everybody to buy in and believe, and you just have to do it. Like, this is what you worked for your whole life, and that has to be the mentality. Like, you have to go into every workout ready to give 100%, even if you're having a bad day. Type of mindset, or how people speak about this mindset, can be seen as like a lot of little things, but really everything amounts to something bigger. It's all, you know, the bigger picture. Overall mentality has to be a motivated, competitive, willing to do it, like 100% type of mentality. Because in college, just athleticism or just talent or just whatever isn't going to make you the best, because in college everyone on that team is the best of the best on each team. It doesn't matter the level. It's still like everyone I was on my basketball team for, we were best at what they do on their team, and you're now with everyone else who's like that. And so you have to have a strong, you know, mentality to understand that, love them, but also compete with them, because you've worked your whole life for this. On top of it, having that mindset, especially as a freshman, can set you apart from others. I know that my mindset and my attitude did set me apart from other friends and other people that I was competing for spots with, and that impacted me, you know, for the better, and it had an impact negatively on them. But that person grew so much since, you know, that freshman year, and they're such an amazing person. But it took them some time to gain that mentality, and trust me, they had the winning mentality, they had all of that. They just let their emotions kind of cloud the way. And so if you can take anything away from what type of mentality you need to have, you can't let your emotions cloud it. It's your job. This is like, you are here to do whatever sport you're here to do, and that's what you need to focus on. So we are gonna end the video on that note. But give this video a thumbs up, because it really supports my channel. And if you like the content, it just really means a lot that you all are supporting me and watching these videos, and giving me a subscribe as well, because I am putting out 2 videos a week and I'm loving it, and I hope you guys are loving it too. And I will catch you in the next one.